The ANC's National Executive Committee, the highest decision-making body of the party between conferences, is meeting this weekend. The meeting yesterday kicked off with party leaders, including the president, expressing support for the people of Palestine. Let's talk to political analyst Levy Ndou now about the global and local issues on the agenda. Doctor, thank you for being with us as always. Let's start with the local issues. It's been reported that the ANC has not ruled out taking action against Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. Remember, she voted against the president regarding the Phala report being taken further. She voted against her own party, who had decided to expel or impeach the public protector, Busisiwe Mkhwebane. What are you expecting?
Good evening to you, Francis. Good evening to the viewers at home. Well, I think what is important is that the members of parliament, members of different political parties, are expected to toe the party line, and also at the same time they are expected to execute their responsibilities, because that is what they are voted to do. There are a number of instances where members of parliament could not go to parliament, and concerns have been raised on numerous occasions. There are also instances where party decisions are taken which will require implementation by those that represent political parties in parliament. And the normal expectation is that those decisions taken at party level are supposed to be respected by all party members, because that is why in democracy you talk of numbers and you also talk about representation of your own political party. Another aspect in my view that I think is quite important is that in the South African political setup, members of parliament do not have their personal seats. They sit representing different political parties, and that is why they actually have to toe the party line. There was a tone before the vote on the impeachment of the public protector in South Africa. That tone came from the Secretary General's office that says all members of the ANC who are members of parliament should avail themselves in parliament to vote based on the party line. And I remember very, very well the Secretary General saying that anyone who would not be present in that sitting would actually not attend, because that person would be dead. And that was a clear instruction given to members of the ANC to go and exercise what the ANC expected from them.
And Dr. Ndou, thank you. Earlier I said she voted against her party. She actually didn't pitch up to vote with her party. So that is at issue. What is the precedent here? I mean, all parties say of other parties that members should be able to vote with their conscience. They never say it about their own members. Could she say, with regards to Phala voting against the president, essentially, that she was voting with her conscience?
As long as you are sent to parliament by a political party, you cannot vote with your conscience. You actually follow the party line. That is why political parties would sit in party caucuses, sit and strategize on the approach that has to be taken. Members of parliament are supposed to be trusted by their own political party, and they are also expected to toe the party line. And I think that is exactly what the ANC expected from Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. Anyone who would defy the party position in a manner that has been done by Dr. Nkosazana Zuma, it's expressing him or herself outside the mandate of the party, and that is an issue that if the party is to take it seriously, such people have to.
All right, so you do expect action there. What about Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan? There's also been speculation about his future. And let's just look at where we are. Eskom has no CEO. The board chair has resigned. Transnet, the CFO, the CEO of Freight and the overall CEO are all gone, although it looked like the minister was actually looking at their ability to do their job. Some may see that as a good thing. Or will he be blamed for leadership vacuums and SOEs that continue to just be in a dire state?
Well, Minister Gordhan has got a huge responsibility to ensure that SOEs are functional and they are given sufficient support by government. And in this regard, he has to act on behalf of government. There has been concerns from certain quarters in South Africa of saying that it appears as if Minister Gordhan is stretching his hand too much towards SOEs, and some have actually blamed him for interference. That is a matter that still has to be relooked at and facts to be collected. But I think it is important that as the minister, sufficient support has to be given to SOEs so that they are able to work based on their mandate. And of course, when these SOEs are not performing as expected, it will always be justifiable to seek answers from Minister Gordhan because that is the responsibility that is given. Another area which is worrying is that most SOEs do not have proper leadership, they are not functioning well, and it will always be justifiable from the ANC and ordinary citizens to seek answers from the minister so that we get to the bottom of all these issues.
Yeah, and Eskom is an election issue for the ANC. Very quickly, the stance on Palestine, the leaders dressing in black and wearing those headscarves. The president saying we've always pushed for a two-party solution. I guess here you can say the ANC has been very consistent over decades.
Well, indeed, the ANC has been quite consistent. Firstly, as we've indicated over decades, on the support of the two-state solution so that there is no dominance of one state by another. But also at the same time, the ANC and most South Africans will agree that we're coming from a brutal apartheid system, and with the words of President Ramaphosa, Israel has been declared to be a practicing apartheid. And I don't see the ANC and any other party that fought against racism to be in support of what is happening in Palestine. So one wouldn't be surprised that the ANC stance is quite consistent in support of Palestine. And I still expect them to come out of the NEC meeting re-emphasizing their support for the people of Palestine.
All right, and possibly even announcing further action. That's been hinted at. Thank you very much, political analyst Dr. Levy Ndou.